what we call the share price multiplied by the numbers of shares outstanding. How it is actually gotten is the share price multiplied by numbers of shares outstanding. And a market cap is what we see as the financial size of a company, right? When we say that Apple just crossed 3 trillion market cap, it has increased its financial size. Nvidia just entered 4 trillion market size, it has increased its financial size. So based in terms of acquisition, a company is evaluated based on the financial size, the market, the share price, and the numbers of shares outstanding. So the market cap can always go up when the share price increases, right? You can see a stock that is worth $10 today, tomorrow is at $100, and it has increased the market cap. Okay. Hmm. So what do you need to know about the stock market, right? What do you need to know about the stock market? The stock market is actually does not move in a straight line. Where prices of things fluctuate. Today is up, tomorrow it is down, and there's what we call the bull market and the bear markets. Have you heard of that as well? Okay, good. Are you into crypto? Sorry to ask.
I was more into crypto previously. I'm still in crypto.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. So, the value of the company, what you also need to know in the stock market is that the value of the company does not always reflect in the price of the stock, and I will explain. Today, if you go to the market, if you go to the stock market and you see, let's say you see Tesla, I like using Tesla. Let's say you see Tesla at $400 today, is at $400 today. Like, oh wow, this company is at $400, and then you go proceed to buy, and tomorrow it falls to $300, next tomorrow it falls to $200. Would you tell me that the value of the company has actually gone down from the stock, from the price? Will you tell me that? Will you tell me that the value of the company has actually gone down?
You said the share goes how much?
From 400 to 200. What will come in your mind? You bought Tesla stock at 400 and now it's at 200.
Of course, it's gone down.
The value. I'm trying to explain to you that what we see in the stock market is based on the market demand and supply. It's based on investors' sentiment. It is not the true value of the stock, which was why Warren Buffett kept hammering on buying stocks at its fair value, And when we started, I gave an example with the price of yam. You know the yam that is worth 5,000. I don't know why I'm using yam, but God, do you like yam?
It's fine.
Okay. You know the yam that is worth 5,000 naira. So if you go to the market tomorrow and sit at 10,000, you will say no, that's not the price, and you will not buy because you know the true value of the yam. This yam no fit pass 5,000 naira. But then tomorrow, you see that yam that is 5,000 naira at selling at 2,000, you start double checking it. That this one is 2,000. Why is it so cheap? Because you know that the value is supposed to be at 5,000. That's the first thing. Then you check around, you check the yam is still good. Like, oh wow, and then you buy. You are buying at an undervalued price of 2,000 naira as against the 5,000 naira that you know the yam is worth. The same thing with the stock market. The same thing with the stock with stocks in the stock market. There are certain stocks that you should not smell them when they cross a certain price. Example, Tesla. It crosses $400. You should just watch and say, okay, no, when you come back, maybe I'll buy you. Right? Some stocks are actually worth more than that. So our job now in this session is to be able to evaluate a stock based on its true value. And we can know its true value by looking at the fundamental analysis, which is what the company is actually doing. Because if you don't understand this, you need to know that any company you're buying in the stock market, they're actually doing business, real business. And it's very important that their real business is solving real problem and they are profitable on that aspect. It's only when a company is profitable in real business, in the business that they are doing, should they become profitable in the stock market. Although we have what we call a good stock and a bad stock. Sometimes a company can be good on paper, can be doing everything right fundamentally, but then their stock don't move. An example of that, I would say, someone gave me the example from YouTube, is First Bank. Good fundamentals, but the stock price is not doing anything. It's just flat out, it's just there. So our job as profitable investors is to pick the sweet spot between buying a company that will appreciate in price, that that investor sentiments can fall on and the price will appreciate, but also has a good value, knowing that bad as a bad, this company is still worth this price at the end of the day. That's all I'm trying to explain. So also note that while you are being exposed to financial news by what different analysts will be talking about, note that they can be wrong in their prediction, because most of this analysis is done on projection. They are going to be projecting that, oh, this company will be doing 2% growth or 5% growth over the year, or it will be increasing by 10%. The company's growth will increase by 10% year over year. So they do that prediction with that analysis, and they do their models with that, and they come up with something different from what will actually happen in real life. So you also understand that financial analysts can be wrong in predicting the price of the stock, and don't take their word for it. Just because they say that, oh, this stock, they believe this stock will do well, do not take their word for it. Just like put on your glasses. Now, another thing you need to note is that the stock market is controlled by the government through interest rates, environmental factors like COVID-19, and then the sentiment of the people. The sentiment of the people. You can see there are some stocks that are not doing well in reality. There are some companies that are doing very badly, but their stocks are overperforming. They are what we call glamour stocks. GLAMOUR. Glamour stocks. Doing very badly in reality, but then on the stock market, they are hot cakes. They are hot cakes. I will still say an example of that is still Tesla. Not that they are doing very badly, but regarding because of their manufacturing company, they are not yet in profit, right? But yet their stock price is always appreciating, it's moving up, down, it's very volatile in the stock market. So you need to know what moves the people. Different news, once you see a news, just like the crypto market, it's news that drives um, coins to pump, and news that drives coins to pump to dump as well. So the same thing with the stock market. News about, oh, this stock is the ten hottest picks right now. If you buy it now, you're going to get $10,000 in the next 5 years. Make sure to buy. So with that kind of projection and mindset, people that don't think for themselves will rush and buy because someone somewhere wrote behind the screen that this stock is going to go up, and so they bought. Another way I thought someone can control through the interest rate. Basically the interest rate is a way that the government used to control how money moves, right? during inflation inflation is when prices of things are actually going up, and when there's inflation, people are paying more for something. When they're paying more for something, it means that there is more money in circulation. So the only one of the ways that the government curbs inflation and also control the stock market is through the interest rate. When they raise the price of borrowing, when borrowing becomes expensive, because currently here in Nigeria borrowing is at like 37%. To borrow is like 10%, but that it has dropped. 2 months ago it was 27%. I don't know the current rates now. So imagine if someone tells you that, okay, come and borrow 1 million naira from us or 1 billion from us and give us 37% back, even at the end of the year. 37% back is too much, because how much is your business already operating on? What's the profit margin that your business is operating on? Then how much will you pay yourself then to come and start paying paying the loan, right? Because of that, it limits investors, it limits CEO, sorry, it limits CEO from accessing more funds, and so it shrinks the stock market, right? Why they're curbing out the excess money in the system that is circulating the economy, it shrinks the stock market because CEOs don't have access to funding. But when interest rate is being reduced, which is why for those crypto guys, for forex guys, they're always after if the Fed is cutting interest rate or not, because there's some kind of fundamental analysis that it does to their price, to their charts. If the Fed cuts interest rates, they know how they're going to move. If the Fed increases interest rates, they know how they're going to move. So those key fundamentals is what affects the stock market as well. Same with environmental factors. We know that the environmental factors, we saw what happened in COVID-19. Most businesses shut down and never recovered till today. So these are some of the few things you need to know about the stock market while you are actively trading and investing. So what can you see in the stock market? You can see commodities in the stock market where you can buy and sell where you can buy and sell gold, right? You can buy and sell cocoa, right? So you can also see index funds, ETF. These are the ETFs you said you already have, right? You said you have ETF. What are the ETFs you have? Is it VOO?
So where I'm in Cyprus, by the way,
All right.
and I have S&P 500, but not the exact Vanguard S&P 500. I have one that tracks S&P 500 and the European markets. I think on the Berlin Stock Exchange is called iShares.
Okay,
iShares
okay,
for S&P 500
okay,
accumulating period.
okay. That's fine. That's okay. But it has a name though. Just so.
Yeah, it's iShares. Yeah, S&P 500.
Okay.
I mean the VOO. That's what we use in not Nigeria and the UK share, but the core one. Yeah, that's the ticker name, I guess.
Okay. Okay. That's that's fine. That is fine. So have you heard of the word REITs?
Hmm.
Real Estate Investment Trust. REITs. Have you heard of the word REITs?
Yes.
You've heard of the word REITs. Okay, good. That's interesting. I don't need to explain further, right? Do I need to explain further on that?
You can go on. It's fine.
Okay. REITs are basically stocks that are exposed to the real estate sector, right? If you don't want to own a piece of land, if you don't want to, if you don't face the hassle of owning land and building a house, you can just invest in real estate developers that have done that now in the stock market. So by doing that, you get a piece of the action, like whatever is happening in the real estate market. And by also doing that, REITs, one of the beautiful things I like about REITs is that they pay 90% of their profit to their shareholders. 90% of the profit to the shareholders. So it's very interesting. They are one of the highest paying dividend stock in the stock market, REITs. Although it's very dicey to find a very good REIT because most there's what we call their mortgage-backed securities, where some companies actually loan money to real estate developers to build these plazas, shopping malls, and office, but then they make money based on the interest that is received from the loan they made. So it's very dicey. You need to know which one you're going into, and it's a different topic entirely on its own. So who do you see in the stock market? You see you see stockbrokers that are basically gateways, right? That gives investors access to the financial market. It can be a person, an institution, or an app, right? Then you see average investors. We call ourselves retail investors. People that are buying stocks on like
Small, small.
on a small pinch up. We are retail trade investors, and they are hedge fund managers. They are day traders, people that trade stocks on a daily basis, and then they are also mutual fund managers. You've heard of mutual fund. Example is Stanbic IBTC Mutual Fund, right? A mutual fund is actually a pool of money gathered from different investors. Maybe they say, okay, all of us will bring 5,000 naira, we're 100. That becomes 500,000 naira. And then they give it to an asset manager or a fund manager that will go to the market and look for the best stock or the best bond, the best security in the stock market and buy on behalf of us. If whatever he bought does well, we get a share in that. If it doesn't do well, we still get a share in that. That's basically what mutual fund is about, right? So moving on to market analogies that you need to understand as a beginner investor in the stock market is the first one you need to know is what we call blue chip stock. What are blue chip stocks? Right? These are stocks with sound financial records. They have been in existence for over a decade and they've been constantly paying dividends. An example of a blue chip stock is ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil has been paying dividend for the past 25 years, and I'm going to show you how you can check that. How you can check a company that is paying dividend, how you can also check how long it's been paying dividend, and what percentage, what is the dividend yield. It's all there, the records are all there. Then we also have what we call growth stocks. What are growth stocks? These are stocks that are like mid-cap level. They do not offer dividends, right? Example is still Tesla. I keep falling back to Tesla, right? And they are looking to reinvest whatever they earn to increase their expansion. They never gain ground. That's just the thing we don't. Then we have what we call penny stocks. Penny stocks are the newly listed stocks that are basically under $5 and also just 5 years in the stock market, and they are highly risky because a stock can go from $5 to 0.5 in a month. That's how risky they are. But that same penny stock, if the guys behind the wheel navigate it properly, that same $5 can move to $20, can also move to $50, based on how profitable the company is in reality. So the, then we have what we call the bull market and the bear market. You know that already, where the share price or the coin price in the stock market continuously move upwards. And then the bear market is the opposite. Everything is going down. Everything is going down. Most crypto guys say, oh, the market is seeing its period now. They call it period. Everywhere is blood. Everywhere is red. That's the stuff they use now. So I already explained what are the financial securities in the market. You see stocks in the stock market. You see bonds in the stock market, ETFs and REITs. Now, getting to the crux of the matter, fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis. Hold on. So why is it important to know how to do both fundamental and technical analysis? But fundamental analysis tells you which company to buy. Okay, given that you have studied the industry conditions, the financial strength of the company, and who is running it, who the CEO is, what sector it is actually in. Like right now, it's favorable to buy agricultural stocks because of we are moving to the food time of the year. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, right. Understanding how the company works, understanding that it is profitable on paper and also profitable in reality. This is which it helps us to know which company to pick. But then technical analysis tells us when to buy. It helps us evaluate the price pattern of the stock. It gives us, I don't know if you've heard of the word support and resistance. Have you heard of it? Yeah, you said you could. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. I
Okay.
have some knowledge in technical
Okay.
analysis.
Do you know a support zone and a resistance zone is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. So our focus for this program is basically fundamental, but with just a drop of technical. Because if you understand support and resistance, it helps you know when to enter the market. And also, when you enter the market, it gives you an idea of if we are back in a bear market, and the prices wants to dip. It gives you an idea of where it's going to dip to, what support zone is going to start dipping to, and then you can place buy orders at that point. So now let's move to, let me share my screen. Hold on, hold on. All right. So because your focus is actually on the Nigerian stock market, I guess we're looking at the Nigerian stock market first, right?
Do both though.
I
Do
should do
both,
both.
nonetheless.
Okay.
Yes, why not?
Okay. Why not if not?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me a second. All right. I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can say.
Okay. Good. So our first. So the first website that helps us in our analysis is Yahoo Finance. Have
Mm-hmm.
you have you gone to this website before for anything? For any
I mean,
analysis?
I've checked stocks there.
You've checked stocks there.
But yeah, I have checked for but mostly I use an investor.com most
Oh,
times.
okay, that's awesome. Investing.com, is it the paid version? Because those guys don't give out anything for
That's
free.
why with European.
What did you say?
And that's the thing. Sometimes there are other tools online that, yeah, the investor doesn't really give you too much information. You have to pay for most of the other data if you want to get information on companies.
Okay.
But we can use Yahoo Finance as well.
Alright, it's fine. So, what stock would you like us to research on today? We still have time. We have like 7 minutes more.
Mm.
Thank you, Cosmos.
So you mean Nigerian stock?
No, US stock first.
Yeah,
US stock,
Nigerian
because Nigerians are
US
not
stock.
here on.
Okay, okay. So for US stocks, I recently have big interest in quantum computing
Quantum what?
because it seems to be quantum computing.
Okay. Do you know the ticker symbol?
Yeah. So no, this is just a sector. Oh yeah, a sector
Okay,
I would
okay.
say.
Quantum computing
So
is a
we have the
sector.
internet sector. Yeah, we have the internet
Okay.
sector, and then before the last 2 decades, the internet bubble when all this came up before the internet age and all this internet everything right now. A lot of
Okay.
investors have invested and they made big gains in the internet investments. I think the next, most likely, the next uh, level of computing is going to be quantum computing
Or
because at the
or
moment we rely, computing is all made with microchips and it's all 1.0 right now. But quantum computing, it's a different level entirely of computing. If NVIDIA does that, QCI does that. All this one's basically that's on your screen. They're
okay.
all into quantum computing, building quantum computing infrastructure at the moment.
Okay. So the best thing is to go with
So,
the company that is into doing quantum computing stuff. All right.
there's NVIDIA, there's QCI, IBM too. There's a number of them.
Okay, so which one would you
And
like us
also before,
to look at?
which one?
Yeah, which one now?
There is one that's called
That's on the stock market too. The one that's on the stock market too.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I have it on my watch list. Okay, so that's Rigetti Computing.
Okay, please
Though I
spell.
think it's at a high price right now. There's Rigetti. We can also check QCI as well. But I think Rigetti might be at a high price at the moment.
Rigetti. We also need to know why it's high. Rigetti stock. Right.
Yes,
So
first
this
one.
is how me I research on stocks. Right. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
you already the interest that okay, stocks that are into quantum computing is going to blow up. Ground, that one is like we've ticked that. So then we check these guys now. What is their unique selling points? What products do they have that is dominant in the market? Like what do they do? Like so now I'm just going to type Rigetti Computing, what they do or how they make money. Because it's for me it's very important that the company is making money, how they make money. If they're not making money, they're still talking in business proposal method. I'm not there with them. They're still projecting and they're not earning. I'm not there. I'm not there. So usually people do use ChatGPT for this, which is very wrong because ChatGPT can't give you current information. They can just go and look for what one idiot said online and come and present it to you, and you take that as fact. So it's very important that when you want to research on stocks, you should be able to. I'm not even recording this. When you want to research on stock, you should be able to come check yourself. All right. So why shares of regretted computing are soaring today? That's not what I'm looking for. About marketing computing, that's also not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for how they make money. And normally Investopedia stock tumbles as revenue sinks. When was this? 13th May. That's too long ago. But normally, Investopedia normally have why the company makes money. So let me see, because let me see if I can find it from Investopedia. How Rigetti makes money. Did I pronounce it well? What is, and it gives us something I don't want to read. So let's see. Quantum games without physics degree. This one is for you. It's not for me. Let me send it to you. Am I spelling it well? How does
No,
Rigetti?
Rigetti with a double T.
Okay, does Rigetti Computing make money? Let's see this one. So no, Rigetti Computing is not currently profitable. This is from Gemini. While they have a healthy gross margin, their operating and net margins are significantly negative, indicating recent 12 months. That's not still what I'm asking. Is what are the potentials for making money? I can't find it. I can't find it. You see this one? What is Rigetti Computing business model? Okay, this gives me close to what I'm looking for. All right. It's in Chinese, so. Can you read Chinese? Oh, all right. Let's not waste time. Let's just look at what I
Yeah,
wanted.
let's look at the
Let's
key
just look at what
scenario.
I wanted. No, we're still on the Rigetti. It's not. We're still on the Rigetti, but then
Okay.
look at it from the Yahoo Finance lens. Because first, I wanted to understand how they make money. What's their USP in the markets,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how do they stand out from other quantum computing companies? That's what I look for. I look at the products. If your product is not moving, it's a problem. If they have like 10 products and only two is moving, it's a problem as well. I think I was talking to Ella, where I was telling her that I saw Cadbury at 16 naira and now it's at 68 naira.
Mm-hmm.
That when I saw Cadbury at 16 naira, I went to check the supermarkets and Cadbury was selling for 2,900 at 16 naira. That means the product of Cadbury is selling for 2,900. The next time I went to the supermarket, a month after I checked, Cadbury was selling for 5,000 naira. Their product price has gone up and the stock price has also gone up. So if the product is not selling out fast, and then I was telling her that people would rather buy Cadbury that is a milk and Milo blend than buying one milk and one Milo, one sachet of milk and one packet of Milo for some homes that are trying to make it in this economy. She's like, why was I thinking like that? I said, if you want to invest in something, you have to think like the investor. So because their stuff went up to 5,000, if you imagine, I told her that the price of milk was 3,200. Yes, I digress, but I'm trying to explain something. The price of milk, let's say mixed was 3,200, and then the price of, because I checked, the price of mixed was 3,200, and the price of Milo was around 3,500 or 4,000. So if you combine the two, you're actually spending 6,500 or 7,000 naira to get a milk and Milo for your house,
Mm-hmm.
and you have like 5 children. So why not go for Cadbury that is 5,000 naira? And then if you put one spoon into catch,
Instead of
like my
both.
father used to say, you put one spoon into catch. So this is why their stock price will do well, because in the market there's a demand for it, and it's competing with both
Yeah.
Milo and milk at the same time, right? So these are what we need to look at when we're looking at products of what we want to invest in. How well are they doing in this in regards to its competitor, to its rival? Rigetti $16. All right. So there are some key things I also want you to know from just looking at this this stock table here. All right. I want you to take note of the chart is still loading. So I want you to take note of this was when it previously closed that. You know that the stock market is 5 days a week, except on special days, 5 days a week. And then for our time is different from your time, right? I guess you know when the stock market opens in your own time. This is where we see the market cap at 5.3 billion, which is small. I didn't think I hit on how what a big stock market cap is and what a small stock market cap is. A market cap that is less than 1 billion is small. A market cap above 10 billion is big. So these guys are in 5 billion, so they're like mid cap level. Then this beta or beta is simply telling us how volatile, it's telling us how volatile the stock is to the stock market. So it means if the stock market is up today, this will not go up because it just has one is at 1.45. There are some stocks that are very unreactive to the stock market. They are not volatile at all. Those when you see them at 0.2 or 0.4, whatever the market is doing is their own business. If stock market is up today or down tomorrow, that's the S&P 500 in total. If they're up today or they're down tomorrow, it's not their business. They're just going on their own journey. Why there are some stocks that are very reactive to the stock market. And another example again is Tesla. So if we check, later you can check Tesla. Tesla is around 2.45. So if the market drops 0.1%, Tesla is going to drop like 2%. Now, EPS, PE ratio, price earning ratio, simply telling us how expensive a stock is. For here, we're not seeing anything. So we'll be comparing this with the other companies in the same sector and industry. EPS is what we call earnings per share. Earnings per share. Earnings per share is simply telling us how profitable this company is in regards to the share price, right? And a typical example is that if you have company A and B, company A is at share price of $100 and they make $20 in EPS, or the EPS is 20. While company B still the same $100 in share price, but they have an EPS of 5. What does that mean? It means that company A is doing more with their $100 as their share price than company B. It means that company A is more profitable in earnings than company B, since they are in 20 and this one is in 5. So if as an investor you're going to pick company A because they are more profitable, it means they can do more with what they have. When the Bible says to more, he who has more is given. Who can, what's that? What I don't know. Thank you. Yeah. So this one they are already at minus 0.8, which is not a good sign at all. But if this is a growth company, we can understand. Because from all indication, we have not summarized if this is a growth company. In our next class, we're looking at this thoroughly. This is how you check if they pay dividend. They don't pay any dividend at all. Looking at this thoroughly, we're going through their historical data and their financial record. Let's see what they are making year over year and what their expenses is. This is what we can always get. We will get that in the financials in our next class. Do you have any question?
Any questions? Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
But it's not entirely related to this as of today.
Okay.
So I bought a UBA, I think so. I got
Okay.
an email. I don't know if you know Prudential.
Africa Prudential. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to confirm because I've been getting emails of this what's it called?
For UBA.
UBA Rights.
Okay. Okay.
UBA Rights.
Okay.
You can buy at a certain price right now.
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
So have you heard of that recently?
UBA rights. Yes, I have heard of UBA rights. But then there's something I also want to let you know. Now, you have a stockbroker that gives you access to the stock market. But when you buy, there are people in charge of documenting who bought who, at what time, and in what capacity. Those people are what we call the registrars. They're the people in charge of documenting these public companies' shareholders information. So you receiving a message from Africa Prudential. Africa Prudential is the registrar for UBA. They're the ones that would, when it's time to pay dividend, the company will go through the people that own shares at a particular date in that registrar and then pay from there. So by the time when you don't receive your dividends, people you even complain to is not the stockbroker because they will direct you back to the registrar. Right. Do you let me now the next question that you asked, do you already have UBA stocks before now?
Yes, I think I did buy a company, I would say, check
You
crypto.
already buy. Okay. Are you asking if you
Yeah,
want
I did.
if you
I
should
did.
get more? Because this rights issue is basically for people, shareholders that already have shares with the company.
Yeah.
The right issue is not to the public anymore. It's just for it's like inside house buying. I beg go. See, we have like extra 5 shares. Will you buy? They're going around. That's what they're doing. It's inside house buying. So they are giving the shareholders opportunity to gain to buy more from the company. So if you are interested, are you interested in UBA or we need to evaluate UBA before you buy?
Yes, I'm interested in UBA
You
actually. Because
you can
I did buy some.
okay.
Also, so I have another question too.
All right. Okay.
Do you know how to move Nigerian stocks? Or do I have to sell them off from one exchange to another one? I have to sell them
No
off first.
exchange or stockbroker.
So okay, so initially I've seen Ucha app. You know the Ucha app.
UJAB? No, no, no.
Ucha.
You,
Okay, I've
you, may,
seen
you may have
Ucha
to write
doing
that
this
because I can't get the spelling in my head. You would.
It's Ucha. Let's have a spell again. It's Ucha. I'll write it for you.
Okay, fine.
For the Ucha app, then I started using what's it called? Bamboo or Naira stocks. No, I don't really. I would still say there's something better. I don't really like the way both of them look because Bamboo doesn't really give you full graphicals of everything. Usually, that was the main reason why I stopped using it because you don't really get information on the app. Like that's just basic.
When you
So I
say
wanted to
information from the
transfer.
app, what information are you looking for from these apps?
I mean, if there was more graphical or mathematical analysis tools there, and the only information you get on YouTube is just basic ones anyway. Close price, this price. When we get financial performance, they just give you the revenue, year-on-year change. That's it. So on quarterly and annually changes basically.
It also has a news
So you
section,
can't
though.
really.
It has a news section where you can see what's going on with the stock. It has a news section. Have you explored that?
See. For this one,
For
it's
Bamboo has a news section.
I think because usually they have what's called a usual lounge. It's like an AI kind of thing where everything is jump out, everything news and everything's gonna be jump out into one place, basically.
Okay. Do you have another stockbroker you are using apart from this future and Bamboo that you feel is
For Naira,
for
for
Naira?
Naira stocks. Uh, Not at the moment, no.
Not at the
But I heard
moment.
of some. I had I saw somewhere. Was it Invest something?
Invest Niger.
No, that's not like. No, something. I
Okay.
can't remember the name exactly.
Okay.
But it seemed to be, and I also have Optimus, but I haven't verified entirely yet. But
Optimus by
I
Afro
have
Invest.
Optimus, but I don't know if yes, I don't know if Optimus really does stocks or if it's just
It
bonds and all this
no,
other commercial
Optimus by
papers.
Afro Invest does US stocks. Why the Afro
Yeah,
Investor section? Because it has two apps, one for the US and
yeah,
then one for Nigerian. Why the Nigerian section is Afro Investor 2.0, then the US section is Optimus by Afro Invest. So
yeah.
now regarding moving your stocks, if you wish to move, you can actually move from one stockbroker to another. You just have to reach out to the help section. They're going to give you what we call a share transfer form that would help you move your stock to another stockbroker. And this means that you also have to create an account with another stockbroker, but you have to inform them, maybe with the brokerage team, and tell them ahead of time that I'm moving my stocks from this to this, and they should direct you on how to go about it. But you have to notice that you have to be patient, and it's not going to be like
Okay.
it's not going to be an easy transfer, right? You have to verify who you are. If you did not need to verify before, you have to verify who you are, where you are, NEPA bill, utility bill, Nigerian stress.
Okay.
Budget.
I see.
But are you? Do you want to go through with it? We can start the
I
process.
might just sell off from one, maybe transfer the funds and buy.
Oh.
Maybe I'll just wait and buy the lower price. But
If
it's not an issue anyway. I can just do the transfer
if
since I'm still gonna hold the stock anyway.
if it's a Nigerian stock, you do know that you're going to have another CSS and searching account. You're trying to move, and let me tell you, they are pretty much the same because this is from someone that has an Afro Investor account, a Trove account, and a Bamboo account. They are pretty much the same. Even before, I prefer Bamboo interface than Trove interface. Have you used Trove before?
No, but I think it was mentioned to me before, so I haven't
Okay,
used it.
okay, maybe you can just download these apps and then see how before you sign in, see how the interface feels like. If you like it, then you can then decide how you're going to transfer your funds or your stocks.
Okay,
All right.
that's fine.
Any other question?
Yes, sorry. Back to the UBA Rights thing. So basically, it is the offering to buy at a particular price, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the stocks. Okay. You wanted to make sure it is not one chop me.
It is not what? Okay, if it was a scam.
No, because I did not sign up for anything African Prudential. That's one. That's one.
Okay. Oh, they have your
And
details.
it was after. Yes, so it must be probably from Bamboo or from Future. I think it's Future Portal UBA. So any of this, because I didn't sign up for anything African Prudential, that's another one fact.
There's
Yes.
coordination registrars as well. If you have MTN stocks, there's also coordination registrars.
So basically, they will share the information with everybody.
Yeah, they're looking for money now. I said
Uh,
that's the first thing I said. I said they want your money.
okay, there is Mary Stram.
Yes.
Is what you're talking about. Mary Stram.
Meristem is more of a
They
stockbroker.
also send an email to
Okay.
blah blah blah.
No issue.
I'm not sure who they are for. Mary Stram registrars.
Meristem is
Let's
more of a
send an email.
stockbroker than a registrar. If I'm
Who?
correct,
Mary
let me
Stram.
check that. Yeah, they are more of a
It says.
stockbroker than. But even registrars, you do know that Africa Prudential is trading in stock market. Okay.
I checked them. I tried to do a bit of research on them.
Okay.
So that's they are owned by UBA, but whatever, yeah. Or they are the US rep for UBA.
All right.
I think that's it for now.
All right. That's it.
Anything else, I'll let you know.
That's fine. So we will still be having the same conversation tomorrow, 10 a.m. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely day.
Yes.
And please leave a review for the first session. How was it for you? Say the truth. Don't feel pressure to say, oh, it was a great session. No, say the truth. Say the truth.
It was a great session.
No, I don't want something that comes from the heart. I don't want something that is memorized. Thank you.
No, it was a great session. I like this.
Or still write it. I need the reviews. Thank you.
I'll do that.
All right.
Thank
Take
you
care.
Good day.
You
Bye.
too. All right, investors, that is the end of my session. As you can see, I just left the meeting. Thank you so much, Cosmos, for engaging. He said, hi, you're doing a good job. You look good and you are doing a great job. Thank you so much. Nice analysis. Thank you, Cosmos. Marisol is a stockbroker. They deal on equity mutual fund and fixed income. Thank you very much. Because yes, it's a stockbroker. Are they also a registrar? Because that's my confusion. Mary, are they a registrar and a stockbroker or just stockbrokers? Because I know they are a stockbroker. Thank you. Thank you. Because my question is if they are registrar and stockbroker or just stockbroker. Thank you so much. I'll do that research and get back to you later. So please, if you have any questions, I'll upload this and you can leave the questions in the comment section. And if you're interested in learning about the stock market in great detail, just like what you've watched, reach out to us. The link is in the bio. Our bootcamp is just $100. Our stock bootcamp is $100, right? So if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description box. You can join and get one-on-one guidance on how to navigate the stock market, because at the end of the day, you want to be confident that you invested in the right place, right? You want to be confident that you invested in the right stock that will give you money over time. Okay, they have different branches. It's also a group of companies. Okay, thank you so much. Right, thank you. Right, so if you're someone that needs hand holding, right, needs someone to guide you step by step on how to open a stockbroker account, how to pick stocks, how to navigate the US market, how to navigate the Nigerian stock market, what to buy, what not to buy, the rules and don'ts in investing, just like what you've learned. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what you learned. There's so much more, like reading financial statements, right, understanding your own personal behavior as an investor. Make sure that you click the link down below and join the six-figure stock portfolio bootcamp. This is Money Reality with Crystal, and my name is Priska John Chris. See you in the next live, and make sure to subscribe. Bye bye.